Hey everybody, welcome to the Hack Ninja podcast. I'm Galaxia Martin, founder of the Hack Ninja.
I am Erin Martin, her co-host and business development leader for the Hack Ninja.
All right, so this is episode 3. We are just going to do some simple random questions just to get really some familiarity with like who we are and some questions about some of the latest and greatest technology trends that are happening in the world today. So let's get started.
All right, so you call yourself the Hack Ninja. How did you come up with that?
So the Hack Ninja, I don't know. I was just thinking about something cool in regards to what I was doing as an ethical hacker, working with organizations and some of my peers I worked with in the past. There's CISOs that got me in kind of helping do pen testing when I first started early in my career from passing my ethical hacking exam. So I was trying to find something catchy and I thought I kind of am a ninja about it. So why not just say Hack Ninja? So that was that.
Nice. What was the moment you realized quantum computing wasn't sci-fi anymore, but something builders needed to prepare for now?
So the reason why I wrote the book, Quantum and AI, The Awakening of Cyber Defense, was because I kind of always look at technology in a future sense. So like when there's trends are coming out, I look at it from like how probable is that really, right? Based on research and based on, I don't want to say a feeling, but it kind of is, right? Like when you feel like, wow, that's a totally different technology, that's going to be great and bad. So I just did a lot of research into quantum computing, and it's been around for a very long time, actually. So it's not like it's new because of the cloud, but I think this is becoming more of a reality just because of the technological growth that's happening, not just in the hardware space, but in the software space. And there's all these medical breakthroughs as well. So I think this is something I've talked about in the book, that this is a sooner rather than later type of situation we're going to have to solve for.
Okay. If quantum breaks today's encryption, what does that mean for AI systems that rely on secure data?
It's deemed useless. Like, I was talking to a buddy the other day about, some of the NIST preparation for quantum computing. I think that if we're not prepared for the layer of encryption that doesn't break because of quantum computing at a consumer level as well as a business level, everything we built is pretty much hackable, broken, useless.
Are we closer to quantum advantage or quantum chaos? And how should companies be thinking about that?
I think the biggest thing, like I said in the previous episode, is really about education and preparation. In my book, Quantum and AI, The Awakening of Cyber Defense, I actually have a roadmap in there that gives, it's towards the end of the chapter, I think it's chapter 21, that gives kind of like an overview of like how can you prepare for the things that are coming next. And I actually talk about when I think that it's going to happen. One of the things I said in the book, sooner than later, I think I mentioned, and this is a while ago, I think five years that I expect that to happen. So 5 years or less. I know there's people think that it's 10 years or longer, but consumer products, once we get a breakthrough, which we did have, I think, towards the end of last year, breakthrough in having a smaller advantage of a handheld quantum solution, then we're closer to a breakthrough.
So you have been spending almost every night since November in your office building THN Guardian. What problems scared you enough to build THN Guardian?
So THN Guardian, it's the Hack Ninja's product. It's coming out in a few months. It was a concept that I had thought about a few years ago, and I kept hearing the same problem working with clients and peers about the challenges that they have with AI in regards to leaking data. And I think the problem that I see the most is that these LLMs don't let you have access to control the data, right? You have like some data controls, like in ChatGPT, if you have enterprise, it says it doesn't train on the data, but it's still there. And there's limited visibility on like what data people are putting in there. So as kind of a thought leader, I've built a lot of products in my career for companies I've worked for. And this time around, I decided, this is a cyber product. It's really a focus of mine. and it pairs really nice with our brand. And so I decided to build this product, and it's a nice product. I'm not going to go too much into detail. You can go to our website, hackninja.com, and look it over. You can actually kind of join the pilot program if you want to start early when we release it. But that's really the main reason. I'm trying to solve a problem in the market that I don't know if there's not many companies that are doing that. There's a few companies that do something similar, but not similar. We have a different approach to how we're trying to stop AI data leaks.
Okay, but in simple terms, what does THN Guardian protect us from that traditional cybersecurity tools don't?
So THN Guardian is like a data loss prevention product, but it's focused specifically on AI data leaks. So traditionally around SaaS, AI solutions, or even custom development AI chatbots. So the goal is that traditional DLPs look at like a heuristic approach, whereas our solution has a systemic approach as well as heuristic. And so we have the ability to create custom rules, have special integrations on what these specific AI solution sites are or behaviors. And it's able to basically warn or block and audit and track where your data is being leaked, right? So, for example, end user A goes to a .ai site and they type in information about your company. Maybe it's like, my company lost $8 million last month. How do we fix that? Well, from an ethical hacking perspective, if I had the ability to hack that LLM, I could find that user put in that information, and I can go on LinkedIn and find where they work. So that ties the data together so that our product stops that from happening, or at least notifies you like, hey, user A is doing this. You might want to block that, or at least know that this type of data is being leaked so that you're not surprised that if there is a breach in these type of LLMs, that you know what data is out there instead of kind of being in the dark.
So, do you think AI will make hacking easier or harder in a post quantum world?
Um, I think AI right now makes it easier for hacking, and I think quantum in general will make it um, faster and quicker than the human mind can think. So, I mean, I think we're up to two sides of a coin, and both are good for technological advances, but then both are also bad for cybersecurity.
What's the biggest mistake founders are making right now when it comes to AI security?
I think I talked about this in the last episode, Erin. I think we talked about like, just don't shove AI out there because you want to. I think we talked about being methodic about, making sure you're ready and that data's protected and stuff. And there's some posts on the Hack Ninjas LinkedIn that we talk about this as well. So I think the biggest mistake is everybody wants these nice shiny things, right? Like, and there's a problem with that because you don't know what you're getting into. Just because a solution can solve some of your problems doesn't mean it's safe to do. Like I highly recommend and believe that all founders should have a solution overview of anything they buy. They should understand the architecture behind it. What are some of the challenges that they have? Like, for example, with the THN Guardian, like we have a whole knowledge base and documentation on like how our product is doing it and what data is being leveraged and how we're abstracting, or I should say, kind of blocking the information when we're using AI to read this stuff. So like we have a whole architecture design around it. So I think like organizations need to not jump the gun and rush to every AI tool in the toolbox. I think they need to be a little bit more methodical and review the solutions before they implement it. And if your data is not clean in your environment, like if you can't answer the question, like, do you know where your data lives? If you say, I know some of it, then you're not ready. Like you need to have like some form of data assessment to be prepared.
Okay, now let's fast forward to 5 years. What does the world look like if we don't prepare for quantum era threats?
I always give this analogy, and I think I talked about it on one of my friends' podcasts. I think it's called The Hedge. And we talked about the ability to basically erase your human identity, right? So, like, I always give the analogy like, imagine you driving, you get pulled over by police, and you got to give your ID, and they scan it, and you don't exist. Like, there's some like serious repercussions, like if we're not prepared for this quantum era of threats, because it's more than just like, oh, I want to do a phishing attack, or oh, I want to steal a credit card. Like there could be some crazy, uh, personal identification challenges of completely erasing people from this planet from a digital perspective.
If listeners take away one action after this episode, what should they do today to stay ahead?
You should buy my book. I think the Quantum and AI, the Awakening of Cyber Defense, really gives you a roadmap of like what to prepare for. Not just like about quantum too, guys. It's also about AI. So like there's some cool stuff in there about, being prepared for AI and how to analyze it and what, strategies and plans you need to have. It's more than just like learning about quantum and AI. It really is a guide for individuals and businesses to like be prepared for the challenges. I also believe in, and when I say read my book, education, of course, right? So like just becoming educated. If there's quantum events or webinars, I would recommend joining them now so you can get ahead of like what's to come, because the same thing happened with AI. I mean, we're in this challenge with AI today that people, and I say people, businesses aren't prepared for it. And because they took too long, they're behind the curve, right? Like AI was a thing, 4 years ago, and you still have businesses that haven't adopted to it, that haven't even explored it, that are like anti-AI, and we're not talking about like significant AI robotics, right? Like, so like you gotta stay up with technology trends in a business, especially because we're out of the era of where technology doesn't matter. We're in the era where if you don't adopt technology, you don't exist. So super important. So I recommend my book. The soft copy is actually going to be out at the end of the month. Finally got that done. And if you have Kindle subscription, you get to have the book for free. I think it's $0 or something. So I would check it out because it's got some cool stuff in it that you can educate yourself a little bit more on quantum and AI, and get some good tips on how to be prepared for it. And if anything, you don't want to read the book, at least review the chapters in the book. That'll give you those roadmaps and tips to be prepared and stay ahead. So cool. Any other questions, Erin?
No, not today.
It's good rapid fire. We got 10 questions in. We got our kids in the background screaming because it's a non-school night and they're ready to get wild and watch movies and play games. But yeah, we made it. We made through the podcast. Another one, episode 3. And we will see you on the next podcast, episode 4. So good night, stay well, stay safe, and we'll
see you later.
Catch you later.